All right. Welcome, guys. We are officially kicking off our second webinar together. So this is the second immersion call. Up until now, you guys have had immersion checklist number 1 or execution checklist number 1 and execution checklist number 2. So today we're going to go through number 2, the questions that you guys specifically have. Any problem areas, I'm going to try to spend a little bit of time on to make sure we work through all the problems or any problems that you guys have together. But guys, understand that I built the execution maps and then I went through them with those instructions, right? So we shouldn't have a whole lot of roadblocks. There might be a couple snags here and there, but most of this, guys, is just you finding the time to execute on this, right? So a little bit of house cleaning before we get started, and then we'll jump into the second checklist. So give me a 1 in the chat if you guys are done, completely done with checklist number 1. Again, give me a 1 in the chat if you are completely done with checklist number 1. All right, man, we got a lot of people done with checklist number 1. That's fantastic. And I see a couple names and faces that weren't done last week on our call, but are done this week. So that's awesome. At least you're getting caught up. So give me a 2 if you guys are completely done with checklist number 2. Just trying to get a gauge for where everybody's at in the process. So give me a 2 if you're done with the second checklist. 2. All right, so not near as many as obviously we're done with the first one, but guys, it is time to catch up. All right, so these webinars are going to get hectic with the holidays coming up, right? And I know that by talking with a lot of you guys, your goal is to jumpstart the new year, right? So take this next week and get caught up. Be done with 1, 2, and 3, which you guys are getting today, by Wednesday of next week, all right? Because that's when we're going over the third one, and you guys are getting access to the fourth checklist, all right? So a little bit of house cleaning. We talked about this earlier before we officially started the call. I've made some updates based upon your guys' feedback and things that we've encountered, what we've seen in support, calls that Ryan has had, to make sure that these are as complete as possible. Some of this is nitpicking, some of it's nice to have, but anyway, we want to make the documentation as good as possible. So in the first execution map, there is a weird little thing going on with Bluehost and HostMonster. And this is absolutely retarded. I don't know when they made this change, but HostMonster and Bluehost are owned by the same company. And by default, when you buy HostMonster and you buy Host or Bluehost packages, they don't enable PHP. And if you guys are web techs or if you guys are smart in the web world, you know that you need PHP just even to run WordPress or any little script on your web server, right? So on checklist number 1, we added something in there for Bluehost and HostMonster that will show you guys how to set your PHP version, all right? So if you did a clone cPanel and you got a 500 internal server error on Bluehost or HostMonster, fret not, we have a solution. Okay, just follow the link inside of the first execution map, all right? So execution map number 2, we added a couple of things. First off, in terms of virtual offices, I added a couple of things. First off is an additional check that we're doing before we secure an address. So once we've nailed it down to a couple virtual offices that are in the area that we want to be in, are in the price range and fit all the criteria that we have, we're doing one more additional check. And basically, guys, what that additional check is to make sure that there haven't been a whole lot of marketers like us using that address for Google My Business. All right, so there's 2 steps here in this additional check that work really well and that we've been using as an additional check, if you will. All right. So again, our goal is to find virtual addresses that don't have 30 businesses that are using Google My Business, right? We want to stay away from those, all right? There aren't new versions of the execution Mac, Dominic. They are the exact same links, all right? We just updated them for you guys. So next up, I included an example call to a virtual office for you guys, okay? So an example call to a virtual office. And this is me questioning them on that checklist and making sure that everything fits the criteria that I've set out and that we follow as well. Then I gave you guys some example contracts that we've signed from virtual offices, right? So you guys know what to be looking at. And then last but not least, how many of you guys have filled out a form, a USPS, and that should say USPS, not USES, form 1583? Give me a 1 in the chat or in the chat box if you guys know what that is. Give me a 1 if you know what the USPS form 1583 is. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So basically, the USPS form 1583, and let me edit that so it doesn't continue to be wrong. Basically, guys, what this is this is a form that you have to fill out with the USPS, United States Postal Service, that basically gets your mail delivered. All right. So basically, we gave very specific instructions on how you guys should be filling out these forms and how we fill out these forms and how we have for a long time. So I keep seeing lots of questions come up. Where is these edits? And guys, they are all right inside the execution checklist, right? So here's the example of me calling a virtual office, and I made a note so you guys would see it, right? Here's an example contract. Okay, here's the instructions on USPS form 1583 and an example of that form. Okay, here's the additional final check that we're doing to make sure that our virtual addresses and our addresses that we want to acquire haven't been spammed to death or haven't been used by 20 or 30 businesses for Google My Business, right? Okay, so everything that we update will be found in these execution maps. Cool. Give me a 1 if you're good to go, ready to keep going. Bill says, damn, this is thorough. It is. Understand, I wasn't joking when I told you guys that our goal and my goal for this month was to work on our systems and processes. And the bonuses for you guys getting in on Launchpad was you guys looking over my shoulder. I wasn't joking. That wasn't some great idea that I had to get you guys to buy Launchpad. This is what we were doing in our business. So as a cool bonus, I thought it would be cool for you guys to be able to literally look over my shoulder as we build out our systems and processes and let you guys kind of look over our shoulder. So most people don't know how to get the current execution checklists, Roger says. They are emailed out on every replay email, Roger, and we give them to everyone on these calls. Okay? So I can't really do more than that, buddy. So I'll give you guys all the links again if you have missed them in just a moment. So if you guys get stuck, take time with Ryan, all right? web1.co/Ryan consult, right? Ryan-consult. Ryan, if you could just put that link in the chat, that would be great. I know that a boatload of you guys have had consults with Ryan. Ryan's pulling 40, 50, 60 consults a week with you guys, making sure that you guys aren't getting stuck and that you guys are moving forward. Okay. So finishing up the house cleaning. How many of you guys were not on the first webinar, right? The last webinar. Give me a 2 here if you weren't. Give me a 2 if you were not on the last webinar. All right, so guys, there is always a reason to be on our live calls, always. Okay, and this is one of them. We gave out a word of caution on the last webinar that there's only 40 seats available for our January workshop. And as of that webinar, there were 776 active Launchpad members. I wasn't joking. It wasn't some big scarcity, right? We sent out the replay, right? But by the time of the replay, there were only a couple spots left. And we are officially sold out. Okay, so make sure, guys, get on these webinars, commit the time, all right? So again, guys, today's goal is to get past any snags or issues with immersion checklist number 2. All right, and I welcome feedback from you guys. If something's too difficult, something doesn't make sense, if you got stuck somewhere, please give us feedback. We want this to be the best that it possibly can, all right? Then we're going to get into immersion number 3. So I'm going to give you guys the links for immersion number 3, all right? So that list is all ready to go. So for those of you guys that don't have it, this is the link for the first execution checklist. I'm going to copy this and put this into the chat since we had some complaints that some people didn't have it. This is the second checklist that we are going over today. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, and I'm going to run through the sections high level. If you have a problem, if you got stuck somewhere, I want you guys to raise your hand, and I want you guys to put a question in the chat box, all right? I'll slow down and make sure that we get it answered for you, all right? But if you don't ask any questions, we're going to keep things moving, all right? The last webinar, I think, was about 2.5 hours long. I have to be out of here before 4 o'clock today, all right? You guys ready? You excited? Come on, give me a 1. Let's go, let's go. Come on. Wake up, people. Let's go. All right. So this is the second execution checklist. If you guys would get this pulled up, let me know specifically where you guys got stuck. All right, I'm going to go over this high level, and then we're going to get on to the third checklist, all right? So the goal of this checklist is to make the final edits to your guys' lead gen sites and to officially start your marketing campaign. All right, so by the end of the second checklist, our goal is for your sites to be finalized, have a tracking phone number, and a local address. Okay, we want your sites to have been submitted to Google My Business. We want you guys to have ordered citations. And last but not least, to have ordered your Sendwire money site accounts. All right, so step 1 is for you guys, or was for you guys, to get phone numbers from analytic call tracking and to get them on your site. Okay, did anybody have problems with this first step? If you did, please, please, please take a second and put the question in the chat, and we're going to move on. Let's see. Jeff says, my ACT does not have the advanced settings, so I just have to do the workaround like you showed us. Can't access voicemail. Yes, so Jeff, we used to have an old version of ACT that wasn't enterprise, right? It wasn't monthly. We sold it one time, and that doesn't have the advanced call flow. Doesn't have the automated billing and a couple of the other features as well. So Jeff, if you want to upgrade, just get with Ryan after the webinar. But obviously, there's a workaround. You don't have to have the voicemail. You can just have it ring, to your cell phone or to another number. Okay. So Craig says, what do you suggest if there are no local numbers? Okay, so if there are no local numbers, we talked about this before the webinar kicked off. So Craig is talking about Seattle, Washington. And I keep trying to pull up the wrong browser here. So I would do a search for Seattle, Washington in Google. Personally, this is what I would do. And I try to pull up maps results here. You could also just go into Yelp, but what we're looking for is the different area codes, right? So 206 would be one, 425, again, 206. And we just find all the available area codes in that area. And then that's what we would search in Twilio, okay? If they don't have it, find something as close as possible. Don't get stuck on it, Craig, all right? ACT will record the call too, right? Yes, it will, Suzette. Do you ever use a toll-free number? I do not, Teresa. Personally, as a consumer, if you're looking for a local business, do you expect to be calling a 1-800 number? No, right? For me personally, I look for a local phone number because I don't want to call a big company. Okay, so some of our students actually did some tests with this and found that the local phone numbers actually convert better. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. Hey, Mike, I'm not sure about that, man. Just get with support. We'll help you out. What's the link for analytic call tracking? It's inside the execution map, but it's just analyticcalltracking.com, and you'll just want to go over to pricing. All right, Anna? Can I get the replays? The replays are inside the members area. Keith Moore, Ryan, if you would, contact Keith Moore about upgrading ACT. Somebody had a great idea in the chat. A way to get other local numbers is to use something like Google Voice or Grasshopper or Ring Central. See if they have the local numbers, and then you can port the numbers to Twilio. And really what that just means is that you move them from one service to another, right? So you can do that, but personally, I just think it's kind of a pain in the ass. So personally, I just be a little less picky on the area code. Let's see. Andrew Clark says, is it bad to use Ring Partner? We'll talk about Ring Partner later. So I think we're all good on call tracking, right? Can I get a 1 if you guys are good on call tracking? Yes, yes, yes. All right, fantastic. So let's keep this train rolling. So step number 2 is to find a local address. All right. So if you have questions on this, again, get it in the chat right now. So the first thing that we're doing is we're trying to find where we should be looking in terms of an actual address. So what we do is we do a search for our actual keywords that we want to go after. We find the businesses in Google My Business and we take a screenshot of where they're located, right? And then we're just looking for cities in that vicinity, or addresses, I'm sorry, in that vicinity that we can rent and we can use for a virtual office, right? So I would want something within these green lines or very damn close to it if I couldn't find something in those lines, right? And I found something right in this area using the process that we laid out here. Okay, so that's the first step. Where should your virtual office be located? Then you can see if your city is in our research. We've done a bunch of leg lifting or a bunch of grunt work, if you will, on like, I don't know, the biggest 300 or 400 cities in the US, and found a bunch of virtual offices. So go through here, see if they fit the criteria that we've listed out here below. And if they don't, just do a search in Google for city and then virtual office. Okay. So if you had a problem with virtual offices, just let us know inside the chat. Let's see. Jill says, is there any reason not to use a home address in that area? If you have a home address, Jill, use it. I would use it, right? I've used family members' home addresses. I've used our actual business addresses in the past to set up lead gen sites, virtual office or virtual addresses or addresses for Google Maps. So if you have another way, do it, right? But this is the most scalable way, right? Because you're going to want to call up your cousin and say, hey, can I use your address? And then be bugging them every day until they get the postcard. Right? This is the most scalable. By all means, if you have another address that you can use, you know that you're going to get the mail, go for it. This is the chat, Zach. Let's see. Can you use phone verification instead of a postcard? So Terry, isn't the option to do phone verification right off the bat, right? So what we do, again, in the execution map, if you follow it, is we gave you guys a resource here for phone verification if you don't get your postcard. Okay. Peter Lofkin says he would love to outsource this step. Peter, this step of me finding 5 virtual offices, because we're going after 5 of these, took me less than, let's say, 40 minutes. So by all means, you can outsource it, but until you've done the process once, I never recommend outsourcing anything. How do you know when there's a problem? How do you know how to fix that problem? How do you know if it's taking way too long? By doing it the first time yourself, right? All right, cool. So unless you have a question related to your virtual address, let me know in the chat. If not, we are moving on. Gary says he currently rents an office suite. Is that okay? Of course, Gary. How do you actually get virtual office mail? I call up Jim, the virtual office, and I say, "Hi, my name's Joe Troyer, and I have a virtual office there. I have a mail box there, and it's for this business. Can you check my mail for me?" And I say, "I'm just looking for one thing, and that one thing is a white postcard from Google that has a pin on it." And they say, "Yes, hang on one second." They come back a couple minutes later and they're like, "Okay, you got 6 pieces of mail." And again, I reiterate, I'm just looking for this postcard, and they tell me if they have it or not. Okay. Yes, I have Christopher Hansen. Unfortunately, those go away very quickly. Cool. All right, guys. Okay. So don't get hung up on this step, guys. Execute. Let's get moving. All right. So then what we do once we've got everything set up, and guys, if you're short on cash, use an address for a month and then cancel. Okay. But get this step done. Again, about 80% typically of our call volume, if we're ranked in Google Maps, about 80 to 90% of our call volume comes from Google Maps. So this is super important. Okay. So then what we're doing is we're just getting the address into our lead gen site or sites. So step number 3 is submitting to Google My Business. So before we get into the actual submission, what we do is we set up a Gmail address. So this is what we've done forever. It's always worked really well for us, is we create a Gmail and it's the site name at Gmail, right? So if I have a site in Orlando called Orlando Restoration Experts, I would set up a Gmail Orlando Restoration Experts at gmail.com, right? And it's super easy to do. You go to Google, you sign up for Gmail. That's it, right? So after I have that, what I do is I walk through this step-by-step tutorial that shows you guys exactly how to submit to Google My Business. And honestly, guys, this is so easy. And why do you think it's so easy? Because Google has to get local businesses to do this, right? Like literally all that you do is you sign into your Google, let's start at the top. You do a search for Google My Business or you go to google.com/business. All right. You say get on Google, you sign into the Gmail account you just created, you add your business in this search bar. And what's going to happen is your business isn't going to be listed here. So then you click right here. None of these match, right? So then it's going to bring up this box and you fill in your information, your business name, aka your site name, your country, your street address, your city, your state, your zip code, your phone number. And then you say down here at the very bottom, you're going to want to use this checkbox, right? I deliver goods and services to my customer at their location. Okay, and at this point, you can only add one category to your Google My Business listing. Okay, so just do your most dominant category. And I talked about how to find this where is it here? Right in this video right here. So basically what you're doing is you're looking at your competitors' Google My Business listings, and it'll show you the actual category, right? So let me get this search to pull up. So basically right here, fire damage restoration, fire damage restoration, water damage restoration, right? And since I'm specifically going after water damage types of business, right? That's what I'm really targeting in Google. My category that I'm going to use is water damage restoration service. Okay, so we choose that from the category. We hit confirm. We say, yes, I'm allowed to actually submit this. And then it says, verify your business, and it's going to mail you a postcard. Okay, your Google profile is going to come up. It's set, right? And at the top of this box, it's going to say, we've mailed you your verification card. It'll be there within 2 weeks or something like that in this red bar. Okay, and that's it. It literally is that simple. Okay, I verified all but one of our Google My Business listings out of the 5 that we're working on in one morning. I did one at my house. I did one at Starbucks when I was on my way to work grabbing some coffee. I did one here at the office, and then I tethered and I used my phone's Wi-Fi to do the 4th, and then the next day I did the last one, right? This literally should take you 5 to 10 minutes to do this step. So questions on Google My Business. Yes, you need a Google account in order to submit to Google My Business. Laura says she jumped the gun and submitted to Google My Business without having the suite number. If you don't have the suite number, Laura, it's not going to end up getting delivered. So what you want to do is go back into that specific Google My Business where you forgot the suite number and go put it in again, and they will resend you your verification card, all right? Do you use a phone number from Twilio? Yes, for the tracking number for the site, of course we do. Keith Moore says, should I be using a US proxy for this step? No, not necessarily. So guys, if you're going to submit a lot of Google My Business listings at one time, the easiest way to get around this, and we talked about it right here, when setting these up in bulk, meaning you need to do more than one Google My Business submission per day, I switch up my addresses, my IP addresses, and I flush my cache and cookies between submissions. Okay, the easiest way to change IPs is just to use different internet, right? So that's why I said I use my house internet, I use Starbucks, I used my office internet, and then obviously I used my tethering internet or my phone 3G, 4G internet just from my iPhone, right? Okay, if you don't want to do this, this is the easiest way. If you don't want to do this, then yes, you'll need some type of proxies. Okay, so then what we do is we put in our calendar a reminder or a to-do to call our virtual office in 2 weeks and see if the postcard has arrived. Okay, if it has not arrived, we contact local oxygen. Okay, and we call Francie. I just did this the other day. I called Francie and I set up an appointment with Kevin. What they are going to do is they're going to get Google on the line and put you on a 3-way phone call, and Google's going to ask you some verification questions. Okay? Guess what? We've done this before. Students have done this before. Here's an example of a phone verification call. Okay? So typically Google asks for your name, your business name, your address, and the hours. That's it. All right? So Ryan, man, if you could be looking out for these questions on Google Maps and on each section, if you can kind of bring these up to me as I'm done so I don't have to start looking at the chat from scratch, that would be awesome, man.
Got it.
Let's see. Joe, do you use your real name when calling? You're going to want to use, Brian, whatever name you use to submit to Google My Business, right? They want to make sure that you're really the account holder. And you can use whatever name that you want, honestly. They don't ask you for your license or anything like that. Yes, you can use the address for a few weeks and cancel. Let's see. Mike says, if we have multiple lead gen businesses using one virtual office, what address to use in my Google business? Okay, we keep adding on suite numbers, and that's covered somewhere in this checklist. I think it's in the up here. Yeah, right here. So bonus tip right here. This talks about how we do different suite extensions, we call them. So if you're in suite 215 and you want to put 5 lead gen sites on an address, we make the addresses unique by extending the suites, right? So we'll do suite 215B, suite 215C, D, E, F, etc. Verifying Gmail is a pain. Tom, if it's such a pain, just buy Gmail accounts, right? So guys, when you get stuck, understand that there is an easy way around almost every solution. I'm hearing a couple people complain that when they set up multiple Gmail accounts at once, that they start having to phone verify the Gmail account and stuff like that. Why even bother, right? So if you literally go to Fiverr, you can get somebody to create a Google account for you, and it'll be phone verified already. So Google PVA. Not sure exactly what search I used, but I literally just got these. You could do a YouTube PVA as well. All that you need is a Google account. It's the same, YouTube versus Google. Here we go. 10 high quality YouTube PVA accounts for $10, or 10 of them for $5. Okay, here's another one, 20 for $5. 10 for $5, right? So get past your problems. Don't get stuck in them, all right? I heard it's better to get Yahoo or Hotmail, not for Google verifications. You need a Google account to submit to Google My Business, all right? Cool. Is this good? Aha moments? You guys catching up that are behind? All right, let's keep this train moving. So Google My Business. Next up, we're going to order citations. And again, we order these from WL Marketing. We've been using the same company since we started basically doing maps. All right. So what we're going to do is go to online identity services, local business listings, and we purchase the 300 pack of the local business listings, right? $120. You can't beat that price anywhere. So let me show you guys what we did. So if I go on my dashboard, you'll see order history. You'll see that almost all of mine are complete except for the last two. Tampa and St. Petersburg are processing, but all the other ones are complete. All right, so if I click in here, you'll see all the information, and here's all of my citations. Okay, same for Jacksonville. Okay, so where was that? If I hit this, it says 95 published and 235 submitted / updated, right? So these ones we're still waiting for a URL from, but these 95 are all live right here. Okay, and I can go click on these and they're going to show up: Foursquare, Merchant Circle, Yelp. Okay, Jacksonville Restoration on Foursquare, on Merchant Circle, and last but not least on Yelp. Okay, 120 bucks. I don't use anybody else for citations, and if you want to know why, go search or go to Digital Triggers and look at the video on how to rank on Google Maps. Okay. So any questions on citations? Yes, Joe, they give you the username and password. So are these citations on business listings that they create on those directories? Yes. No, we have not, Robert. Is it better to wait for the Google card to come to do citations? No. Chris, as soon as you're done submitting to Google My Business, order the citations. By citation, do you mean press release? No. Citations are our listings on local business directories. Those are called citations, Michael, and that's how you rank in Google My Business. Joe, do you need that many citations? Rod, do you think that I would tell you to buy 300 if you didn't need 300? I know I'm giving you a hard time, but I do that on purpose, right? I give you guys my exact steps, right? I order 300 because I don't want to have to go back and order 100 more because I'm number 10 on a 3-pack. Okay? Understand, guys, that I am extremely 80-20. Okay? I'm not lazy. I am a go-getter, but I'm not going to do more than I need to, right? So 300, okay? Is doing your own citations a realistic option? Grant, it would take you hours and hours and hours and hours. I'm not even joking. We tried to outsource Grant to beat WL Marketing's price to people in the Philippines, literally paying them like I don't even know what it was, like $2 an hour, $3 an hour. And what you have to understand is you're getting 300 for $120. How much does that make each citation? So, I mean, it's an option. It's not realistic at all, though, right? Let's see. John says WL Marketing is excellent. I've used them many times. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Pay it to get done. Yes. And if you don't have the money, guys, go sell an SEO client. All right. Go make the money so that you guys can do this and you can do it right. All right. Cool. So next up is we order the Cinewire money site profiles. So guys, we still get our profiles from Fiverr unless we need to do lots of accounts in bulk. And in that case, we're going to share this resources with you in the next map. But first, I need you to all agree. Give me a 1 in the chat if you promise you won't share this outside with anybody, right? You won't share it with anybody because if I share it with too many people, this is going to get burned and this is going to become a shitty resource and it's just going to suck for all of us. It's not going to work. Okay, understand? I've only given this to my mastermind people. I have not given this to anybody else because I don't want it burned. Michael says he uses Cinewire Buddy. I hope that program burns to the ground. Enough on that. xgcmedia.com is who we're using for bulk account creation. And so guys, what you need to understand is that this is extremely bulk, right? So you can use this for Gmail accounts, for Yahoo, Hotmail, Outlook, AOL. You can use this for YouTube accounts, Twitter accounts, Pinterest, Instagram, SoundCloud, Vine, Vimeo, Tumblr, and they even have a couple more, Dailymotion, Quora. But the order size is bigger than just a one-off little network, right? So literally for Dailymotion, the minimum is 1,000, right? For YouTube, it's cheaper. So if you do YouTube PVAs, so PVA stands for YouTube Verified Account or Phone Verified Account. You can do 50 of them for 49 bucks. So when we order in bulk, this is who we use, xgcmedia.com. Okay, for these little money site profiles that we need to build for Cinewire, we use Fiverr, right? Because we can't get XGC to compete in this price range. They won't do this, right? So how I pick these out is I just do a search for Cinewire and I sort it by the feedback. So excuse me as I clear out some of these windows here. So whenever I'm buying a gig on Fiverr, if it's Cinewire accounts or it doesn't matter what it is, I'll do a search for SynWire, and then I'm gonna make sure that high rating is checked, right? And basically what I'll do is I'll go through here and I'll pick one. So if I have 5 sites ready to go that I need money accounts on, I will get one from this guy, not this guy because it's multiplier method. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. Okay, I'm going to rotate because out of 4 or 5, I'm going to find one person that's going to do a really good job, right? They're going to over deliver, right? So I'm going to find one person that I can turn to in the future to create my SynWire accounts. One of the biggest questions that we get from people is, who do you use to set up your SynWire accounts? Understand that if I told everybody who we use, they wouldn't be good for anybody, right? They just have too much business. Okay, so that's what we do. That's our process. We'll pick out people that we haven't used before. We'll test multiples at a time, and we'll find somebody that's good. Cool? Lonnie says, don't use Loveland. All right, guys. Good to go. Any questions specifically on the SynWire money site profiles? Okay, on these, we spend a little bit more money. Again, our budget is 20 to 30 bucks per money site, and the reason why is because we want these accounts to look real. We put more effort into them. We make sure that they get a profile pic. We get in our actual citation, our city, our state, our zip code, our address, our country, right? The website link, the website description, and last but not least, we get them to connect all the accounts in SynWire so we don't have to. SynWire is clear. Let's see. Teresa says she already has Minion set up. Do I need to set up a second for each lead gen site? Yes. So Teresa, you need your money site profiles in addition to your Minion profiles or your B team profiles, right? Let's see. Okay. And we'll get the guys to the B teams and the Minions soon, very soon. All right. Cool. Yep, so A team guys is branded, right? We want them branded. We want our profiles to look good. So they're all branded on our lead gen sites. So if I'm going after Orlando restoration experts, that's my brand. I'm going after the Orlando restoration market, right? Water damage, fire damage, mold. All of my profiles are going to be branded like that, right? Orlando restoration experts. Okay, so they're going to have our logo on there. They're going to have all of our information there. Okay. So step 6 is to set up auto backups for all your sites. So guys, this is a little bit of a pain in the butt to configure the first time. You're going to have to configure Amazon S3, Google Drive, or Dropbox. We suggest Google Drive. Basically what you're going and doing is setting up a little developer account in there and getting your API keys and everything like that. But once you do this once, then you guys can add these quick and easy to each and every one of your guys' sites. And we suggest Google Drive. So this feature, guys, is huge. I talked to some guy the other day. What was his name? Brian. And Brian had done everything in here except for step number 6. Okay, understand, guys, that step number 6 is like an insurance policy. If you get hacked, your host goes down, you lose your files, you have all your hard work backed up, right? So make sure you get this on. Okay, and when we set up auto backups, we set it for weekly. And I'm going to make an addition here. We also choose option to delete month old backups. Okay, and that keeps our storage accounts from getting too overflown with storage, right? Are there any videos on how to do this? Yes, right here. right here, right? There's videos everywhere. Cool. All right, guys. Any questions on auto backups? We're almost done. Step number 7, 45 minutes in, and I'm about to give you guys the third checklist. So let me know. Any last questions here on backups? Nope, nope, nope. All right, cool. So step number 7 is to do a final check on your money site. So basically what we're doing is we're looking for any dummy content that's still on our sites, right? So things like yoursite.com. Okay, so we specifically want to make sure that the following content is up to date. The logo, the phone number in the header and the footer, address in the header and the footer, email address, and we want to make sure that the map is accurate, right? By default, the done for you sites point to Miami. Make sure it points to your location, all right? And that's done in theme settings, contact us, and you put in the address and hit go or set, and it sets the latitude and latitude and longitude. It's a mouthful for the map, all right? The phone number is the Twilio number, right? Yes. No other number should get on your sites, your citations, or in your marketing, Suzette, by the phone, except for the phone number that you're using on that one site. Okay? Free backup? I'm not sure what you mean, Ryan. Launchpad does the backups for you. Laura says she's freaking loving this. Awesome, Laura. So Lori says, what address do we show if we have a home address and don't want it to show? So Lori, if you use a home address for Google My Business and you choose to hide that address, that is fine. However, understand, Lori, that you still need the NAP on your website, meaning the name, the address, and the phone number. That should be in the footer on every page. And your home address then should also be on all of your citations. So you still need your address to show. You can hide it from Google My Business, but you still need it everywhere else. Okay. Do we need articles? Not yet. Let's see. Jill says the checklist and webinars are so helpful. You're welcome, Jill. I'm glad you're digging it. Can you set up Cinewire accounts yourself? You definitely can, for sure. Again, it's just what is your time worth? When most of you guys are falling behind in these checklists, the last thing I want you doing is spending 2 hours setting up your Cinewire profiles, or 3 hours, right? Awesome. Let's see. Bob says, awesome, thanks. He's talking to a high maintenance cosmetic surgeon in Palm Beach, actually. There you go. Bob, just follow one rule of thumb. Charge him 3 times as much because he lives in Palm Beach, all right? Let's see. Robert says, Joe, this is one of the best webinars workshop I've ever been on. Thank you for that. Guys, at the end, I would love your guys' feedback on this series. So we are going to be shutting this down at the very end after we do this, and this is going to become a very high ticket program. This will not be sold for probably less than $1,000 or $2,000 in the future. Can you share your desktop wallpaper? You like that? Get shit done? Where is it? Yeah. All right, so let's jump on to immersion number 3. We're there. So let me get you guys this URL. All right, so I got it in the chat for you guys. If you guys want to go ahead and pull it open with me. Laura says, where do we leave you the feedback? If you would just do it here in the chat, that would be awesome, Laura. Even after the webinar, we can still look at the chat history and we can pull out all the comments. That would be awesome. I appreciate it. CC says, will this always stay in our Launchpad? No, it won't. At the end, CC will be mailing everybody and letting you guys know. We'll give you a couple weeks notice, but we'll be taking down this training out of Launchpad. Okay? So we'll give you guys plenty of notice, though. All right, so execution checklist number 3 is here. And guys, this one took me the longest by far to get written up and to put into documentation. So let's go over kind of high level what we're doing here in this third checklist. So the goal of this is to jumpstart your marketing campaign with some low-hanging fruit, meaning results that you guys can easily achieve. Craig says, can I get a link for checklist 1 and 2? It's in the chat, buddy. So, again, it's all about the low-hanging fruit, right? I don't want to wait for my Google My Business to rank. Even though a lot of times following this process, we get them to rank really easy, we're still right now at this point. Let's say you guys submitted your Google My Business. Today's Thursday. If you submitted it Monday, best case scenario, your Google My Business isn't ranking for 2 weeks, right? Let's say you pop right when you do the verification. And trust me when I say I've had a lot of students pop literally into the 3-pack or to position 4 or 5 as soon as they do the verification because they followed this process. Okay, but we have 2 weeks right now before we can even do the verification. So best possible scenario, we have 2 weeks before we can rank. Okay, so it's all about the low-hanging fruit. It's all about we have shit set up now. It's time to start getting results. Okay, so by the end of this, our goal is for you to get you to do your keyword research for the niche that you're targeting. If you are targeting water damage and restoration, and you're going after, let's say, 10 different cities as your goal, understand once you do this once, you don't need to do it again. All that you have to do is insert your new cities. Okay? And a lot of this stuff, guys, when you're scaling across multiple cities, you do it once. Maybe it takes you an hour to do the step. Okay, but then to make a variation for your next one should take you only a couple of minutes. Okay. So our goal number 2 is that you guys will have found keywords in your niche that you can rank on page 1 of Google. Again, this is low-hanging fruit. You will have created a handful of videos for your marketing campaigns. Fourth, we will be running the multiplier method to get a boatload of first page video rankings. Okay. Then your Cinewire account will be seeded with 10 posts to each of the main network types to what we call season your accounts. Basically, it's getting them ready for more promotion. Okay, so these are the first 10 posts that we put out onto our accounts. We'll give you guys ideas on how we're actually doing this. But basically, guys, I see a lot of Cinewire members, customers, making dumb moves when they buy their Cinewire accounts. They'll buy their accounts, and the first day, they'll blast to them 10, 20, 30, 40 times. What do you think Twitter's going to say when you do that? What do you think Tumblr is going to say when all of a sudden you set up an account one day, the next day you have 40 posts? What do you think they're going to say? Right? I want some feedback. This isn't natural, right? So next up, last but not least, is we are going to get content scheduled on your blog. And the best part about this last one is we're going to use the content poster inside of Launchpad to actually do this, right? So all that you need, or all that we suggest for this, is a account at Spin Rewriter. Okay, and we're going to queue up a boatload of content for our sites. Instead of you going out and paying $5 or $10 an article, you guys can grab a year access for $77 to Spin Rewriter. And with Launchpad, you're going to be able to check out unlimited amounts of content. Okay, unlimited amounts of content, right? So give me a 1 if you would rather pay $5 or $10 an article, or you'd rather have Launchpad and pay $77 for Spin Rewriter, right? Come on, use your noggins. Okay? This is powerful. This is what we're using for on-site content. So at the end, you'll have this all set up and ready to go. Garrick says, duh. I just wanted to make sure you guys are all still alive out there. So let's jump into some questions if you guys have any. and then I'm just going to start executing this myself. All right. So understand, guys, if I go too fast or you don't understand what I'm doing, literally everything is laid out in these execution lists for you. Oh, and we're giving you one of our pieces of software in here called Local Keyword Digger. If you don't already have it, for free too. All the pieces of the jigsaw coming together, Luke says. Let's see, Mark says, go, you have under an hour. I know, man. Yeah, I probably need to be out of here a couple minutes before 4 so I can get this recording up for you guys. Okay, so Marty says he's outside the U.S. He's trying to get a virtual office, and they want a USA driver's license or passport to verify ID. Marty, think outside the box, man. I'm not really sure because I haven't been in your shoes, right? I guess since they want that you don't obviously have a passport. I'd assume you probably don't have a driver's license then either. Team up with somebody, man. Share it. Split the cost. Let's see. Ann says Keyword Digger goes to a web1.ontreport.net login page. It sure does. It's an opt-in page. We have to get your name and your email in order for us to license you the software, Ann. All right, cool. So let's do it. Let's start. So I am actually going to skip the keyword research because I already have it done, right? I already did it while I was going through this process. So you guys are going to see that there's actually 2 parts to this process. So part number 1, I actually put in its own document, and that's just because we did step-by-step screenshots for everything in here. But there's actually 3 different techniques in here, and we recommend doing them all. Hang on one second, guys. All right, guys, sorry about that. So technique number 1 is called keyword jacking. So basically what you guys are going to want to do is find the top 5 to 10 organic ranking sites. And then basically what you're going to do is you're going to throw these into a notepad file to keep track of these. Then we're going to go to SEMrush and we're going to steal all of these people's keywords. Okay, so we're going to export all of their keywords, and then we're going to import them into one document, right? We're going to combine all of them, and we're going to sort by search volume. Okay, and this will take you guys through each and every step of how we do keyword research. This is probably the most time-intensive piece of the entire thing. Just understand, guys, that once you guys do this once for one niche, you'll never need to do it again. All that changes is the locations. Okay. Let's see. Somebody says free or paid SEMrush account. Guys, use this link right here. I don't give a shit if you guys use it for 29 days and cancel. I got SEMrush to give you guys all a free 30-day trial link. Okay, so use it. They don't charge you anything. It's not $1. It's not $10. It's literally 0 for 30 days. Okay, so use it for 20 or 29 or however long it takes you to do the keyword research. Should only take you an hour or 2, right? Use it and then just go cancel the account. Okay. So you're going to go through this and you're going to go through all the techniques. So technique number 1, we just kind of went through high level. Then technique number 2 starts, I think at like page 20. Here we go. So technique number 3 is the suburb bomb, and technique number 2, I don't know where it is the related keyword scrape. So after you do this, basically then we're going to use local keyword digger. And just a couple of things I want to point out with local keyword digger is the specific settings we use when we're actually doing this. So I have local keyword digger actually installed already. It's up, and there's a video walking you guys through this too. But under settings, you guys are going to need to put in a CAPTCHA solving system, death by CAPTCHA or deCAPTCHA, and you're going to need a couple of proxies. Okay, and then when you go to analyze, you're going to pull in all the keywords that you just did in your keyword research. You guys can literally copy them and hit clipboard and it'll pull them all in. Or you can hit file and obviously browse to a file and pull in the keywords. So everything that I want checked is right here. Competing results, exact competing, Google title, Google exact title, places results, and video results. This means on the first page of Google, are there maps results for each and every one of those keywords that you just found? And are there video results? Why do you think that we care if there's maps results already and there's video results? Michael says, my LKD is just looping on initializing and not launching. Michael, just uninstall it, download the latest one. Sarvi, it's covered inside the doc. Well, because we want to copy these guys' strategies, right? If they're ranked on the maps, we want to go be ranked on the maps, right? That's why we did citations and stuff already, right? If there's video results, guys, for me, I love this. If there's video results for these keywords, these are the first keywords I'm going to target. So let's say, hypothetically, we pull 100 keywords, okay, for a niche. And we run this analysis, we hit start, we bring in all those 100 keywords, we bring back all the data, right? And it comes back that 10 of the 100 keywords have a video on the first page. I'm going to go after those 10 videos right away. Okay, because they're the easiest. I know that I can just beat out this person. Okay, so basically this is going to append all of this data to the work that you guys have already done. Okay, so again, these are the exact things I want checked, and I don't want this checked, and I don't want these two checked. And again, we cover this obviously right in here. So in configuration, set up your proxies, your CAPTCHAs. I didn't mean to mess that up. Import your keywords, make sure that these options are selected, make sure that these followings aren't selected, and click analyze, right? And then there's a little video I did for you guys walking through this and how this should all end up looking. Okay, we good to go? Can we keep going past the keyword research? Can I get a 1, 1, 1? All right, cool. So the second step now is what we call video poking. How many of you guys have heard about us or some of our friends talking about video poking? If you just give me a 2, you've heard about this before. That'll help me understand who's on and who's not. Damn, you guys are smart. Okay. So basically, guys, we're getting ready to run the multiplier method. And if you don't know what that is, it's okay. But we're getting ready to run the multiplier method. And before we run it, we need to do what we're calling video poking. And basically, we're making crappy videos and seeing if they rank on page 1. We're putting no effort into making the video. We are building no backlinks. We just want to see what we can rank for. Okay, then we're going to take this knowledge that we get and we're going to apply those keyword phrases to step number 4, the multiplier method. Okay, and basically what we're going to do is take each of the cities in the area that we're targeting, and we're going to crank out videos for these that rank on page 1. Okay, in between, obviously, there's this step, video creation. So let me run you guys through really quick the poking method. So basically, guys, we're going to find search terms with video results that you guys got from your keyword research, right? If you don't have any, then we're going to move to this step. Okay, and this step is going after longer tail keywords that will convert well, plus that we can rank for broad keyword phrases. So, for example, best mobile dent repair city. Okay, if you guys saw my case study, I did over 100 first page rankings in like 10 or 15 minutes with this keyword phrase in our area. Okay, and what was cool is I ranked for best mobile dent repair city plus also just mobile dent repair city. Okay, so short term, I know that I can rank even if it's not going to get a lot of search volume with this best in front of it. And longer term, I can rank for without best. Does that make sense? Does it make sense why we're combining long tails and our main keywords? Like chumming, Craig says. Exactly. Just like chumming. All right? All right, cool. Another example would be best roofing company city. Okay, so then we're going to use the YouTube video editor to actually start cranking these out. So I'm going to show you guys real quick what this is. And there's a video in here that walks you guys through this, but I can show you guys just as fast without pulling up the video. So you're going to log into YouTube, go to Creator Studio, you're going to click Create, and then you're going to click Video Editor. And guys, there's two main ways that you can do this. Okay? Two main ways that you guys can use the video editor to crank out videos for probing very quickly. Okay? And that is, you can literally just create a quick video. So I could take a screenshot of my website and I could upload it here. I could then go to music, select a track, and I could even go then here and put a banner over it with my phone number. Okay, and I've done this. If you do like best mobile dent repair Lake Park, and you guys will see there's example videos in the execution doc. This is an example of one of those. Let me mute this. But you guys see this? This is a video that I created with the video editor. This was for the multiplier method. This was for testing competitiveness and literally resulted in us getting hundreds of first page videos. Okay, so it's literally background music, a screenshot of one of the done for you sites, and then call us in the phone number at the bottom. Okay, so you guys can crank out these videos literally in seconds. The other alternative is something that a friend of mine just showed me that's rather sneaky, and that is using Creative Commons videos. Okay, so what we can do is, let's say that we're going after water damage. We can use Creative Commons videos. So we can literally take one of these, and okay, Philadelphia water damage is the name of this. I don't care what's in the video, right? Because all I'm doing is poking. Okay, so I don't really care what's in here. I put in my keyword phrase in the title. So I would do something like, maybe I wanted to test like 24-hour emergency water damage Sarasota, or just 24-hour water damage Sarasota. No matter what the keyword phrase was, I'd literally just put that as my project title and click create video. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? The goal, again, is to create very quick videos, and we're just chumming. We just want to see. We just want to probe. We just want to see if we can get something to rank. Okay, then we're going to take that, what we learned, those keyword phrases, and we're going to swap out the cities, and we're going to apply that to 10, 20, 30 cities in our local target area that our lead gen site is accommodating. Who here has gotten results with the multiplier method before? Bian says, you're a dangerous man, Joe. I have. All right, so there's a couple changes in here, guys, that we made. So make sure that you take a look at the execution list if you guys have done this before, all right? So, guys, I've done this quite a few times. I'm going to share some other results with you guys, and then I'm going to share some results that I got yesterday with this. So I don't want you guys moving past this poking phase until you get at least one keyword phrase on page 1 of Google for one keyword. And again, that's without backlinks, embeds, views, without doing any more monetization. Does that make sense? Do not go past this phase. Okay, so I want to show you guys some examples. So if you guys go look these up, these should all still be ranking. I verified them yesterday. But my father is a part owner in a roofing company, right? And they're in Ohio. So I did Best Worcester, Ohio Roofing Company for the title. Literally ranked number 1 within 2 to 3 minutes. And I did this quite some time ago. Let's see, best Worcester, Ohio roofing company. Let's see the date. October 29th of this year. Okay, so literally ranked number one within minutes for best Worcester, Ohio roofing company. And again, guys, that's without building one backlink, one embed, any views, nothing. Okay, it's just purely probing, putting the video up. Okay, so plus the day of, I ranked number 17 without best, and I ranked number 27 for just Worcester, Ohio roofing company, right? Ultimately, these are the ones that I want to rank for. Best is great, might give me one call for that video every month or two, right? Okay, but long term, these are the ones that are going to have volume. So guys, check this out. Today, without, again, building one link, without any embeds, nothing, just uploading the video, we still rank number one for best Worcester, Ohio roofing company. We rank number 7 for Worcester, Ohio roofing company. And we rank number 18 for Worcester, Ohio roofing company. How many of you guys, give me a one, would take those results all damn day, right? The secret here is the leverage with the multiplier method. Okay? So guys, the important thing I need you guys to know is I still haven't really done anything besides just creating the video. Okay? So I want you guys to follow this process and to go through, choose a way to create the video. Okay? Both of them should be done with the video editor inside of YouTube. And you guys are going to want to use just a throwaway YouTube account that you guys don't care about for your probing. Okay? Use a throwaway account. Okay? So either take a screenshot of your site, okay, and do like the Lake Park mobile dent repair site video, or use Creative Commons, whichever one. I don't care, whichever one you guys want to do. Okay. So I did this yesterday, and I want to share with you guys the results. So I just did a little poking in Sarasota. So one of the ones I did was roof leak Sarasota, and we ended up on the second page. Honestly, that was a lot better than I thought that we were going to do. Roof leak's pretty broad. Sarasota's a pretty broad, Sarasota's a pretty big city. Sorry, had a little blonde moment there. Emergency flood cleanup Sarasota, number 10. Guys, no backlinks. Sarasota's a big city. What happens when I start to go around all the suburbs and all the little cities and neighborhoods and areas with the multiplier method? I'm going to crush it, right? Because it's not near as competitive as Sarasota. Okay, so next up, flood cleanup Sarasota. Again, guys, this one's actually bottom of the second page. So this one's without emergency, right? So for the head term, second page, that's awesome. I'll take that. Okay, and if it just repeats, if things repeat just like they did with the roofing example that I shared with you guys earlier, we're going to rank even better soon, right? Give it another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. 24-hour water damage Sarasota. This was a poke. Check this one out. This is what I'm excited about. I'm number 5 with a poke. No backlinks, no embeds, no social signals, nothing. I just created the video. Okay? So, the other reason why I love this one is because this is my biggest keyword phrase in the entire market. Water damage and city, right? So if short term I can get page 1 rankings for 24-hour, that's fantastic, right? Because long term, I'm going to rank for my biggest money keywords with videos in every single surrounding city and suburb in Sarasota and every other niche that I attack. Is this good shit? You're a bad man, Dennis says. Mind blown. God bless you, Joe. This is like a 50K mastermind. I love that, Joe. Jay. All right, cool. So somebody asked a clarifying question about throwaway account. What does that mean? Okay, so what I did is I went to Fiverr and I bought one of those YouTube PVA accounts. And guys, YouTube PVA, Gmail PVA, as long as it's a Google property, it's a PVA and it'll work for whatever you guys do, right? So I bought one of these, and I actually bought, I've got 20, so I don't know if I just did this one twice or I did this one or what, right? But I've just bought 20 PVAs that I can use for poking for all of my stuff, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I need to go create some better videos, right? So after the poke's done, you can delete the videos. If you use Creative Commons, I'd suggest deleting the videos. If you go this route and it's actually your money site stuff, like Mobile Dent Repair Lake Park, and that test that I did, hey, my phone number is still on there. I don't really give a shit. I'll just leave it up there, right? There's no reason to change it. But what we're doing now, in order to get a lot of cities and to rank for a lot of cities without having just a boatload of YouTube accounts and without just spamming Google, really what you need is quite a few video variations. Okay. And so we have three primary types of quote unquote money videos that we create. We create Hangouts, we create green screen videos, and we use rep videos. So Hangout videos is typically me on camera, a VA on camera, somebody on our team on camera. You can't outsource this to Fiverr or somewhere like that too. Green screen videos, I don't get on green screen for these lead gen sites, even though we have a green screen. I outsource this to Fiverr personally. And last but not least is rep videos. So give me a 0 if you don't know what rep videos is. So the cool thing about rep videos is that it builds out these great looking videos, but it's software, guys, and it's good production. And it comes out that these things cost, with a membership there, about $4 a video. Yeah, $4 a video, right? So pretty good looking. You can change the background. You can change the spokes model. You can change out all the color scheme and stuff, right? And I hooked you guys all up. I got with David Sprague, and I got each of you guys an account for free with five rep videos in it. Okay, so it's 99 bucks a month after, but you guys just sign up. You get 5 credits just for trying them out. So by all means, just jump in, grab rep videos. That'll give you guys, even just with the 5 free credits, 5 different YouTube variations that you guys can use in the next step. And trust me when I say, you guys need a lot of variations when you run this multiplier method if you want to stay under Google's radar. Okay? So underneath here, I give you guys the video script that I use to build out Hangouts. And it's right here. Some of you guys probably have this. But this is the script that I use, or the 5 things that I go through when I'm doing one of the Hangouts or that I have a VA do. Here's an example green screen video that I had done just now. Well, here's the script. I'll have to find the video. Where's it at? Oh, here's the example video. So guys, this is sick. This is like top quality. If you have a little bit of a budget, this is the way to go longer term, right? I can put anything that I want behind this green screen. So for this specific video, this is appliance repair. I can put in all these different kitchens in the background and use them as variations. So just a couple of ideas for you guys on how we actually do video, the different types of video that we do. We stay away from all the video creators and Animoto and all that junk. And we have two different types of videos that we create, right? We create what we just call crappy or shitty videos for video poking, right? And in this step, all that we want is just to crank out these videos as fast as humanly possible. And so we use the YouTube video editor because there's no faster way. And we'll make a quick video or we'll use Creative Commons. And then we have money site videos, right? These are things that we want to rank that should do a good job selling a prospect on why they should do business with our lead gen sites. Okay? So that's why we use these three types specifically. Okay, any questions on the video creation? Can you just explain why the poking? The problem, John, if you've ever tried to rank videos, is that you're not going to be able to rank for everything. And if you create a video for every single time you want to rank for a keyword phrase, you're not going to be spending your time very wisely, right? Let's say if you're good, maybe 30% of your videos will rank. Why not know that they can rank every single time before you put in any effort? That's why we do poking. Cool. Yes, Keith, that would fall into that as well. Mark says, do we dump the crappy videos out later? We do, right? And then we'll go after those same keyword phrases, but with good-looking videos. Okay? Exactly. So John Kelly says, I see with the poking, you're weeding out the no-showers. That's exactly it. We want to see what we can rank for easily. We want to know that we can rank on page 1. Okay. All right, guys. So after this, then, what we're going to do is we're going to apply the multiplier method. So, guys, all the work up until this has been kind of cool. It's been fun. It's been knowledgeable. But here's where we're going to get a boatload of leverage. Guys, if you follow this system, you guys are going to have results like our students have had. Okay? Literally, and people on here, hundreds of first page videos. Okay? On page 1. And guys, I don't care how much volume these queries get. Think about it this way. If every 10 videos that you rank using the multiplier method, which takes almost no time, if every 10 gets you one billable lead a month, how much is that worth and how much are you going to do? Okay, if you rank 100 plus on the page 1 of Google with, let's say, 15 minutes of work like I have, and that I showed you guys how to do on Digital Triggers, and they only get one phone call for 10 videos that you ranked, right? And there's 100. That's over 10 calls a month. At $200 a pop, even at $150 a pop. I'm sure you guys would do that as many times as humanly possible, right? We're good to go? Is that awesome? Good stuff? So let's see. Robert Turner says, how many videos do you make per niche? That's great. It's a great question, Robert. What that comes down to is ultimately how many keyword phrases you want to go after and how many YouTube accounts you have, right? So it's a little equation essentially. And I put some notes in here. How many YouTube accounts do you need? So our goal is to not have duplicate videos on the same channel. So I don't care about duplicate titles or descriptions, or if some of those are a little duplicate. I'm talking about the exact video. So if I have a YouTube channel, like I have this one right here, this is Adine Abdus. I wouldn't want 5 of this type of this video on here, even if the titles were different. Okay, I wouldn't want 2 on here. Okay, that's where Google gets a little screwy and will start to flag your channels and take them down. Okay, so it truly depends on how many video variations you create. So our goal is to make 5 unique variations at a time. Okay, so if we want to go after 30 cities and we have 5 video variations, then we need 6 YouTube accounts. That's $200 a call, Justin. Cool? Guys got it? Let's see. David says, what if you have software that changes the bit file, making them different so that they don't look duplicate? David, what's going to happen is Google's going to catch on and they're going to be gone. Right? So you can play the game of playing a little bit safer, or you can play the gray line game, if you will. Right? And I've played both. I play both all the time. When I'm first figuring shit out, I'm going to play that gray line and play it hard to figure out what kind of results that I can get. And then I'm going to back off, right? And I'm going to be less on that gray line, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's good. Holy flipper. All right, guys. Let's see. Mark says, confident we can move these calls for $200 a pop. Well, considering YP's selling them for $400, I think even a really bad salesperson should be able to move them for $150 or $200 a pop. Cool. So in here we talk about where we get our YouTube accounts. Again, guys, for small orders we get them from Fiverr, and for bulk orders we use XGC Media. Okay. Something to note too, XGC typically takes like 4 to 10 days, I think, to get you accounts. I'd say our average is about a week. With Fiverr, we can do the rush order. So I paid $10 for 20 accounts and I got them in a day. Right? So if you need them right away, you probably want to go through Fiverr. All right, so step number 5, we got to keep this thing moving along, is seeding SynWire money site profiles. So obviously, the prerequisite to this, guys, is that you guys should have already had your SynWire accounts in for your money sites, right? And you should have tested your postings to make sure that all the accounts are working. Please do yourselves a favor and do this. It'll save you a lot of frustration down the road. We see lots of people that will order a boatload of SynWire accounts from Fiverr, and they will never check them. So they order a boatload of them. They don't post for 30 days. They forget about SynWire. Then they come back because they see a case study or something that we did. They go to post a bunch of shit to all their accounts, and half of them don't work. And then they get upset, right? We dig in and we find that the logins don't work, right? So make sure, guys, when you get your gigs back from Fiverr or from your outsourcers that are building your SynWire accounts, when they're done, just run a test, all right? Make sure that they actually work. Please, let's see. Please explain the term SynWire money site. Well, it's SynWire money site profiles. These are branded. And if you haven't been following along, Michael, just go back to earlier in this doc, and you'll see what I mean by that. An execution checklist. Number 2 or number 1 is when we actually order these profiles, and we talk about what that means. George says, when using throwaway accounts from YouTube, do I need to worry about the IP address when I'm logging in? We don't at all. Does local keyword digger work on Mac or PC? We only develop desktop applications using Adobe Air, which means that they work on both Mac and PC. The caveat is you need to make sure that you have installed Adobe Air first. All right, guys. All right. So basically what we're going to do then is we're going to seed our SynWire accounts. And again, guys, the goal of this is just to give our SynWire profiles and accounts that we're using some love, and to make them not look spam to death, and to stay under kind of the radar of the networks, under the radar of Twitter, of Tumblr, and everybody else, right? So I see a lot of people just slam the crap out of their profiles right when they get them. They have them for a week, and Tumblr or Twitter says, and they slap them, right? Your account shut down. Okay? So by all means, they are getting rougher on programs like Sendwire, but too many people just aren't following the seasoning steps, and the seasoning steps help a lot, right? So we do 10 posts for each of the following network types: bookmarks, blog posts, and status updates during our seeding phase. And we randomly schedule these out over 2 to 3 weeks. So we do bookmarks. So for some ideas on these 10 bookmarks, we'll bookmark our homepage, industry sites, and bookmark other money site Sendwire profiles, right? So from Delicious, we would bookmark maybe our Twitter profile, right? Our YouTube profile. Okay, on our blog posts, we'll grab the content from our homepage and we'll syndicate it to blog posts. We'll grab the content from a services page and syndicate it to blogs, right? WordPress.com, Blogger, etc., Tumblr, right? We'll grab, if we have them, individual services pages, okay, and we'll syndicate them as blog posts, right? Status updates. So, for example, Twitter would be the most common status update. We'll do something about our first post, right? So, wow, our company finally made it to Twitter, or I'm excited to try out Twitter, things like that, right? We'll mention industry sites, okay? And then we'll link off to our other money site profiles. Wow, our company just finally set up a YouTube, or we just uploaded our first video to YouTube ever, right? We make these look natural. That's the thing to think about. Okay. So step number 6 is the content poster. And I'm just going to run through this in app because it's easier for me to show you guys the content poster in app. So let me just let me go ahead and log in here and we'll go through this in app. So we're almost done here. So we're going to talk about the content poster. And then the last thing that we do, guys, is we set up info at our money site or our domain to forward to site name at Gmail. So for example, if we have Orlando Restoration Experts and we have the email address all over our site and in our contact form, the default in there is info at your domain, right? So it'd be info at Orlando Restoration Experts. We're going to forward that to Orlando Restoration Experts at Gmail, right? So that we only have one email account for each and every lead gen site. Okay, this is the same email account that we use to set up Google My Business, right? And there's a quick tutorial here walking you guys through how to do this. So the last thing that we didn't cover yet is 6. So I'm going to talk to you guys about how we get content and how we schedule with the content poster. We highly suggest you guys use a spin rewriter account for this because the content is much better with it. It's much more legible than if you don't have spin rewriter, okay? So it's $77 a year. This will save you guys a boatload of money on your content if you use this process and just invest $77 with spin rewriter. So this is an affiliate link, and inside the members area is an affiliate link too. If you think we're doing a kick-ass job, use the affiliate link. We'd appreciate it. So inside of Launchpad, what you want to do is you want to go to your site manager and you want to select which site you want to add some content to. And we can add content as posts or pages, right? So let's say it's Sarasota Restoration Experts. We're going to do view details. And we're going to say we can do posts or pages, remember? So I'm going to do posts. And the bulk of my content is usually posts. And especially with the content poster, I always use posts. So I'm going to do add new post. Let me grab a sip of water here. And you can see Orion always pops up with these messages and says, hey, I saw you're new to this. Watch this short video. The first time that you do anything inside of Launchpad. And if you exit it out, you guys can always get to it down here in the right-hand corner. You guys will see the history of the messages that have been sent. And they're all little tutorial helpful videos for you guys. Let's see. Teresa says Ryan's videos are great. Awesome. So what we do here is you're going to see 2 tabs, create and import. What we're going to do now is we're going to import. Okay. And again, this here at the top basically just says we highly recommend Spin Rewriter. And I've already got, well, actually, I don't have Spin Rewriter in this account. So let me just add that really quick. I'll show you guys actually where it goes first. Let me make sure it's not in here. Okay. So if you guys go to my profile and update profile, then right here, click Spin Rewriter account. This is where you guys insert your guys' Spin Rewriter email and your key. I'm going to do that really quick so I can give you guys a full demo on this. Ryan, you see any common questions still coming in that that you think we could get to right now while I'm plugging this account in?
I'm going through them right now. It seems like we've hit most everything, but give me a check. Give me a sec here. A lot of questions are going to be coming up on here in the checklist.
All right, cool. All right, so under, again, Site Manager, I'm going to click the site I want to add content to, click View Details. Then I'm going to choose Poster Pages and then Add New Poster Page. Click Import. And since this is a restoration site, my main purpose in this whole site is to target water damage related keywords. I'm going to find some content related to water damage. So I'm going to put in my keyword phrase and I'm going to do a search. And what this is going to do is it's going to reach out all across the web and it's going to pull back e-zine content. And what you can do is you can preview content. And what you're going to want to do is see if you like it. Okay, let's say that this one sucks. We're not going to do anything with it. Fire, water damage. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. So let's preview this one. We can change out any of this content that we want as well, right? So like this one was actually pretty good, like class 1, class 2, class 3, but we're going to need to get rid of a couple of links and stuff in there. So that one's really good. So I would go ahead and select this. Let's say that this one's awesome as well. I'm just going to pick 2 for now, but you guys can keep clicking next and it'll keep bringing back more and more and more content. Okay, so I can click spin and save as draft. And what this is going to do right now is it's going to take that article and using the Spin Rewriter API, it's going to send it the first article. Spin Rewriter is going to spin the article. And then when it's done, it's going to send it back to us. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to save it as a draft for you. Okay, then it's going to send out the second one and do the same thing. And then once it gets it back, we'll save it as a draft, right? So this can take a little bit for this thing to run. But once it runs, what you're going to find is that it will be right inside of the drafts there for you. So under posts, you can click drafts. And guys, this is the first one that we just grabbed. It's working on the second one still, right? Spinning article 2 of 2. Here's the first one, right? So I can go in here and I can edit this one. Okay, so I can make it say whatever it is that I want. Okay, I can optimize it. I can do whatever. All right, so I'm going to open this thing up and I'm just going to get rid of this title. And I'm going to name it just like the beginning of this, just what is water damage. I'm going to get rid of that New York in there because this site is in Florida, not New York. I'm going to remove this link. And I would get rid of any occurrences of New York. If I wanted to, I can take like these headings and I can make these look good and SEO optimize these, right? I could turn these into H1s or H2s. Okay, and I could go through bold stuff, but we're going to optimize these. Right, so for example, I would do this, make these lists H3s, the main one and H2, right? Get rid of anything that I don't like, and then I'm going to submit it again as a draft. So I'm just going to update it as a draft. I can add in media here, I can add in images. And you can see this one is actually done, right? So once it's done spinning, it'll take you to the drafts page. So once I'm done with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a boatload of content here. So I could do 30 posts, I could select it, spin it, walk away, come back to the computer when it's done, and these are all going to be saved in here as drafts. I'm going to spend about 2 minutes on each one. So if I wanted 30 posts, it would take me about an hour to optimize each one and make sure there wasn't anything in there that I didn't want in there. Then I'm going to select all of these. Okay, I'm going to select all, and I'm going to click Schedule Posts. And what I'm able to do is I can submit immediately, but none of you guys should do that. What you should be doing is scheduling submissions. And everything that's blue and underlined is options. I want to make sure you guys can see this because this is powerful, this dripper. So I can say start posting on 12/10. I don't want to do that, let's say. Let's say I actually want to start posting on 12/14. I could change up the date, the year, the month, obviously. And then I can say submit one post every, and guys, I can get this down to hours. I can get this down to minutes, days, weeks, and I can completely randomize this however I want. Right? So I could do, if I wanted it to look really natural, for example, I could say instead of every day, I could say, hey, every 36 hours, do a post, right? Or I could just do a random frequency every 18 hours, one post. And then whatever you configure down at the bottom, it's going to give you a summary of what happened, right? So scheduling starts this time with one post every however often you put in. Total time to complete is this amount of time. Total posting date is, or ending date, I'm sorry. So when the content is all done, and here's the total amount of posts. Cool? Is that awesome? So we can take an hour, right? And if we do one post a week on our blog, and it takes us about 2 minutes to optimize everything, and we do 30 of them, that's about an hour. So in 1 hour, I can do 30 posts that are optimized, that are nice, that are clean, that are quality content. And what I can do is I can post, let's say, one of these per week. So in 1 hour, I've done 30 weeks, just over 7 months of content for my blog. 1 hour for 7 months of content. Isn't that crazy? Right? So we used to not focus a lot on our lead gen sites on content, right? And if you look at most of my sites now, you'll see a lot of them are still pretty thin. And the reason is because it costs so much money, it takes so much time. If you do it yourself, it takes even longer, right? So the content poster is something that we're super proud of and that we're using the crap out of right now. Cool. So Ryan, man, jump on, man. Let's just start knocking out some questions. And obviously, I have to jump off here in literally just a few minutes.
Yep.
So if you guys have questions, put them in here now. You have both of our attentions for a couple of minutes, but I got to bounce.
Yeah, Brian had a question about the Launchpad, basically SynWire integration.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously pretty easy to.
Yeah, so when you schedule content, at the bottom there's an option here. And what it'll do is you can have it, I think it's because I don't have SynWire put in.
Yeah.
Add new. There we go. So you can have it post to SynWire if you have SynWire integrated. But here's the thing, guys. You can do this same thing by just grabbing the feed of your site. So if I go to SarasotaRestorationExperts.com, make sure this URL is right. Yep. And we go to /feed. Here's my feed. So I can take this and I can put this feed inside of SynWire. Okay, and I can set up a campaign on it, and it'll do the same thing, guys, that the SynWire integration does down here. Okay, so you guys can choose either way, whatever is easier. For me personally, I just choose to do the feed and do it once, so every single time I create new content, I don't have to syndicate it out. Let's see, Laura says, can we use Launchpad for any personal sites? Of course you can. So all that you need to do is go Site Manager and add new website, and you guys can install this on any WordPress site that you want. You install the plugin. So you download the plugin here, you install it with your licensed email, and then once you install it in WordPress, it's going to give you an activation key. You put that here in the URL, and you're good to go.
Jill, we've had a couple questions about where we're getting our customer reviews from for on the sites.
Yeah, so that's a strategy that we'll cover further down in inside the execution maps. But what we're doing is twofold. The easiest way to do this is to is to set up ACT to send out an SMS or a voice broadcast. If you use the voice broadcast, make sure that you use the IVR functionality in there. And basically, the messaging is going to be something like, "How was your experience with our company?" Right? And please let us know. And we give them a URL so that they can go leave a review. Okay, so typically we're using SMS. And what we're going to do then is we're going to send them to any of the major reputation marketing platforms on the net, right? So there's like Reputation, Rep Kahuna from David Sprague, and there's obviously other ones out there too. The only requirement that we're looking for, guys, in the rep programs is that they have a sandwich page. And what I mean by that is the link that we give them takes them to a page that asks them before they leave the review to give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, right? Was your service good or bad? And this stops us from getting bad reviews. So if the service was bad, it takes them to a form that's not Google or Yelp to leave a review. And if it was good, it sends them wherever we want, right? So it'll send them directly to Google to give a review. Okay, so that's the easy way to do it. Crazy smart.
A lot of good questions on the sales process and how we prospect, and obviously that's going to be coming up.
Yeah, I mean the big thing right now is, guys, we're almost done with like our marketing sprint. You guys have done, if you followed along, you guys have done some really good foundation work. And now with execution checklist number 3, we're getting into starting really our SEO campaign, right? We've already done Google Maps, Google My Business, and got our citations. Now we're kicking up our SEO campaign, and as soon as we're done really talking about SEO, and we don't have a lot more to cover. We have some on-site stuff, some more competitive analysis stuff. Next, guys, is going to be all about sales. So we're just not quite there yet. Somebody says, how many lead gen sites should I build? Start with one, right? Go through the process once. Right? You go through the process once, you're going to get a whole lot of steam, right? You're going to know how the process works. So start with one. If you're a seasoned web vet, you can start with a couple, right? If most of this stuff is repeat for you and with just a couple tweaks here and there, then you can go for a couple more. But if you're new to this and most of this stuff isn't what you normally do, then I would suggest just go through with one to start. Tim Parker, are you ordering citations as soon as you build out GMB? As soon as we build out. We don't wait for verification. Brenda says, Joe, you say do restoration to start, not water damage, right? So let me clarify on that. So inside of restoration, where's our site? Sarasota Restoration Experts. So inside of restoration, there's multiple services, right? So inside of restoration, there's water damage, there's fire damage, there's mold, which ultimately comes from water damage that's been neglected a long time. There's also things like sewer backups and all kinds of other stuff within restoration, right? So there's many categories, Brenda, within restoration. I find personally that water damage is where the money's at. It converts really well, and that's where a lot of money is. So personally, we start with water damage. And the reason that we don't name our sites Sarasota Water Damage Pros is because longer term, we want to go after the other stuff as well, Brenda, right? We want to go after the fire. We want to go after the mold keywords, right? But short term, we want to be extremely focused. And water damage is where it's at, especially short term. So I hope that makes sense. This must not be live, Manny says. No one answers my question. Manny, there's a lot of questions in here, brother. This is live. Here's the checklist link again, ladies and gents. I put it in the chat for checklist number 3. Cool. Local spinner, we'll be getting to Errol in the next execution map. Somebody says, hi, Manny. All right, guys, literally just a couple of minutes left. Where do you post on your site's main page or inner pages? We post to our blog. Up till now, all that we're really talking, Ryan, can you mute yourself for a second?
Yeah, sorry.
All that we're talking about right now is our blog. We're going to be talking in the next execution map about a strategy where we're building some pages, Manny, but we're not there yet. Sales is coming, guys. We're not there yet. Still focusing on building the sites and ranking them. McGregor or Aldo? Sorry, buddy. Mark, I have no idea what you're talking about. Webinar videos, that is? I'm not sure what you mean, Robert.
Andrew's got a good question here. He's talking about when we're scheduling posts on our site, how often we do the posts.
Yeah, so once or twice a week is great. I think past that, and you're just really at a diminishing return state. If you're going specifically after just traditional SEO, right? For this use case, that's plenty, right? If you're trying to get viral content and you're doing stuff outside of local, then I think your strategy should probably be a little bit different. But here, I think is great for once to twice a week. How do you recommend we check rank? We'll be getting to that, John. Jill says, where's the blog on this theme? Anywhere you put it, Jill. Create a new page, and then you're going to set it up inside of the WordPress settings like normal, right? So you can put it at /blog or wherever you want. Let's see, Mark says, great job today. A lot to digest, but over-delivered as usual. Appreciate that. I know there's a lot. That's why we give you guys these execution lists. When are citations submitted, Tim Parker says. Who's paying attention and can answer that one? Just razzing you, Tim. So execution, or the links, the citations rather, are submitted in the execution checklist number 2, the one that we gave you guys on the last call. So we do Google My Business submission, and then we submit to the citation sites. Submit to Google My Business, step 3. Step 4, order citations. Hope you're doing good, brother. Steven says, Joe, what car should I lease with the money I make? Audi 8 Series or BMW 7 Series? Man, I think you should go for a CLS 550 like me. 2 minutes. WLmarketing.com for citations. Yep. I don't wait to verify. No, I want to rank as fast as possible. If I wait 2 weeks to verify, I'm 2 weeks longer from verifying. Got 4 for WL Marketing tomorrow. Somebody asked Joe, what was that car again? I drive a Mercedes CLS 550. So it's a 4-door, but it's got that V8 bi-turbo in it. Do you provide a link to the blog on the homepage, Grant? Yep, we'll get to that typically in the footer. All right, all right, all right. Good shit, Joe. Thanks. Awesome, guys. I appreciate you guys jumping on and spending almost 2 hours on the nose with Ryan and myself. We appreciate it. We can't wait to see you guys crush it. We've already seen awesome results. Thanks everybody that has gotten results and reached out to us. We have lots of water damage sites already on the first page of Google that we found out about, and I'm sure there's a lot that we haven't found out about yet. So we love hearing your guys' success stories. If you guys are digging this program so far, please, please, please take a second, leave us some feedback in the chat. It means the world to us. That's why we do it. We'll talk to you guys soon. If you guys need anything, you guys know how to get in touch with us. We'll see you guys next Wednesday at 2 p.m. I'm going to drop the link in again for next week. One more time. We'll see you guys then. I want you guys caught up. Have 1, 2, and 3 done. I'm going to call you guys out who aren't done. All right, folks. We'll talk soon. Thanks, Ryan.
Bye, guys.